They have travelled entirely different roads to this special stadium. High roads, low roads, and furious freeways. The Springboks, refreshed after that test. The one some people are calling the greatest ever.
Here they go. Van der Westhuizen, what a pass!
And the Wallabies, walloped.
He has the front running. Ross is there.
This was supposed to be an appointment with history. But the Wallabies, they were history, almost from the beginning. Tonight, no Tim Horan, no Matt Burke, a coach under fire, and a nation wanting more. More sting, something to cheer about. There's the Fox, of course, David Knox, back with a point to prove. Tonight, so many points to prove, so many people. Live from Suncorp Stadium, the Wallabies versus the Springboks. No excuses, no apologies, no other way.
Brisbane has turned on a glorious evening for this third Tri-Nations match between Australia and South Africa. Both teams coming off a loss to the New Zealand All Blacks. Australia, the 1991 World Cup champions, and the South African Springboks, the reigning champions. A big crowd in here, in excess of 35,000 we think at the moment, and they are still pouring in. So it really is a great atmosphere for this crunch match between Australia and South Africa. Both sides need victory. Joining me in commentary is Simon Poitevin. Simon, it's been a very emotional day for Australians with events down in Thredbo. The Wallabies have been watching those. That will be a motivation tonight.
Yes, the miraculous rescue of Stuart Diver at Thredbo today will provide an added inspiration to the Wallabies tonight, and they'll need it. It's a must-win game for them. They have two very hard games to follow at Pretoria and Dunedin.
Yes, well, the Wallabies looked very relaxed, I must say, as they have done all year in their international series. But certainly there's David Knox. Great to be back here enjoying the entertainment here at Suncorp Stadium.
Yep, and big Troy Coker on screen there. He twisted his ankle during the week, but he's okay on the reserves bench.
Well, it's a very big game for John Eales and his Wallaby team tonight. Some last-minute comments from him. He's down there with Chris Handy.
Well, John Eales, what will you be asking for from your players tonight?
I think we need to be a lot more constructive with the breakdown, Chris. Get around the field very quickly, and when we get to a breakdown, be constructive.
The siege mentality is an understatement. How's it been, the build-up for the week?
Oh, it's been very intense. Like we know in a few areas we have to improve after the All Black game, and there's a fair bit of pressure on going to this game, but that's all part and parcel of the game.
Simon, what a performance by these guys at Ellis Park against the All Blacks. They led them 23-7, but came up empty-handed.
Well, one of the best test matches of the last 10 years, and the new back line functions so well with Yanni de Beer really pulling surprises out there, running the ball a lot against the All Blacks. Teichmann there walking on the ground, inspirational leader.
Well, there's some fabulous entertainment going on here tonight. After the break, we have head-to-heads, and also we hear from Chris Handy. Back short, Suncorp Stadium is jumping here at the moment. A celebration of the Rainbow Nation, South Africa. But this ground hosted that pulsating match between the All Blacks and the Wallabies last year. Well, it may be fast and furious outside, but a very emotional scene inside. There's Matt Cobain, the youngster from Queensland who's come in as blindside flanker. A revamped Aussie back row, Simon.
Well, certainly Matt Cobain got a lot of respect from the All Blacks in Christchurch. They thought he's a bit light in the second row, but round the field, he lost nothing. Excellent jumper. He'll hurt people tonight.
Changes in the Wallaby backline caused by injuries. There's Garrick Morgan, who cried off on Thursday. Mitch Hardy could even get a run tonight. Who can forget his two-try performance in 13 minutes against the French, and David Wilson back in that starting number 7, where he wants to be. In contrast, the South African dressing room, well, they've had a very good build-up. They arrived in Brisbane more than a week ago, and they really have been very pleased with their performance so far. Let's now check out these two impressive lineups as they go head-to-head. Australia and South Africa will meet again in 3 weeks at Loftus Versfeld. The two fullbacks, Stephen Larkham and newcomer Russell Bennett. On the right wing, exciting Ben Tune lines up against lanky Peter Rousseau. At outside centre, classy Jason Little and Percy Montgomery. At inside centre, rugged James Holbeck and Dani van Schalkbeek. On the left wing, Joe Roth will oppose Andre Steeman. David Knox returns at fly half and he will face Yanni de Beer. At scrum half, the clash of the Titans, George Gregan and Joost van der Westhuizen. At number 8, Daniel Manu and the Springbok skipper, Gary Teichmann. The open side flankers, David Wilson and the rugged Ruben Kruger. On the blindside flank, up-and-coming Matt Cobain and Andre Fenta. Australian captain John Eales will pack down against the athletic Mark Andrews. A late call-up for Owen Finnegan and his opponent, Trainau Otto. In the front row, it's Ox versus Ox, Andrew Heath and Urs Durant. The two hookers are Michael Foley and Free State's Naka Drotsky. And at loose head, Richard Harry opposes Davy Teron. A vibrant beat, a catching rhythm here with the entertainment at Suncorp Stadium. And tonight's two sides will be looking for similar qualities when they take the field. It's Australia and South Africa, the third match of the Tri-Nation Series. Chris Handy is down on the touchline, soaking this situation up. Chris, both coaches under pressure, both sides under pressure. Are you expecting a crackerjack performance?
Well, Gordon, it's crunch time for these two teams. There was intimacy at this ground last year. It's right overhanging. It's different to Melbourne. But there'll be little intimacy when these guys go face to face. They are both in need of a win desperately. South Africa really took us for granted on their way to New Zealand in last year's Tri-Series. They're not about to do the same tonight. And for Australia, backs to the wall. This is the one they want tonight.
Thanks very much, Chris. Look forward to your comments. On the other side of the break, we'll be hearing from the two coaches with their final word and also the recalled Fox from South Africa. Enjoy the entertainment. We'll be back after the break. And don't forget, Mary Lopez Productions and the Australian Rugby Union bringing this entertainment to you. As the song goes, the joint was rocking and jumping, and so are the Wallabies in their final build-up, Simon Poitevin.
Getting the heart pumping here, and this is really critical for the side to get out there and have a big start against South Africa, as South Africa did against New Zealand.
Yes, a very big sense of urgency from these Wallaby players. It's a large dressing room like the MCG, so it's great they can warm up in there, Simon.
Yeah, we should see more of these around the world. Certainly much more player comfort.
Let's hear the final word from the two coaches.
We are the world champions at the moment, but we have to set the record straight. We need a few wins to get that record straight and in place. And tonight will be a hurdle for us to overcome to face up New Zealand next week. But we've decided that the short-term goal to us means that we have to win the two away games. And this is the first one, and it's an important one to us to get the team's confidence up and get the team to really believe in themselves.
It's obviously a very important game to us tonight. It's very important that we demonstrate to the people of Australia that we are a great football team, and the Springboks are a great football team, and we're going to beat them tonight.
Well, both coaches have certainly felt the wrath of the rugby public in their respective countries and also the media, but both are very fine, decent men, and hopefully their teams will respond in their hour of need here tonight. It's a crunch game, and one man who's going to be very crucial for the Wallabies, he's just been recalled from South Africa. They call him the Fox. He says the best advice he's ever had came from his mother. If you can't show your natural ability, make sure you have a nice haircut. Since returning from Durban in the early hours of Wednesday morning, Knox has been spending every spare moment in therapeutic water. But despite problems with jet lag and soreness, he was an instant hit when reunited with Wallaby teammates at training.
The first day I had no sleep in 3 days, and I got out there and it felt really smooth to me. The guys felt really fast and sharp. I mean, I've played with George and Jimmy Holmbeck on a lot of occasions, club football and for the Brumbies, and Jason Little. I've got a high regard for his playing. We've got very fast wingers that can know how to position themselves. So I fitted in quite well.
Injured Wallaby Pat Howard has spent 2 fruitful seasons alongside Knox with the ACT Brumbies. So what qualities will the veteran bring to the national team?
To the backs, he'll offer them time. He'll give blokes space to move around, and when you got blokes like Ben Choon and Joe Roth and Stevie Larkham out there, they're so quick, and he'll give them all the space and time in the world to deal with.
Knox has only played 8 test matches over the past 13 seasons, but has never been on a losing Australian side. However, he's under no illusions tonight against the Box, especially after their narrow loss to the All Blacks.
I mean, they're going to struggle maybe because they're not the force that they are away from home, so hopefully we can use that with our crowd to our advantage, you know, but, you know, make no bones about it, it's going to be an awesome test match and a really epic struggle.
Knox says a Brisbane newspaper got it wrong when it suggested he'd sledged Springbok fly half Yanni de Beer in Super 12. But Pat Howard reports a few words were definitely spoken against the New South Wales Waratahs.
It was a real personal thing for him, and there's a lot of venom in it that day, but usually it's just pretty light-hearted.
It's a game of football, you know, and if you take out the enjoyment, well, it's not much use playing, is there?
Yes, go out and have some fun, and I'm sure David Knox can do that, but the forwards have to do the job first before he can weave his magic. Well, the face of the 1995 World Cup in South Africa was the brilliant Cape-coloured winger Chester Williams. He's our special guest in the build-up. Chris.
Chester, 1995, the South Africans were world champions, but after losses to the Lions and New Zealand, that crown must be sitting a little uneasy.
Yes, they do, but I think there's a lot of confidence after the game against New Zealand 2 or 3 weeks ago, because they played very well. I think they were the better side, but in the end, the scoreboard say that New Zealand won, but we just hope that they're doing well tonight.
This is a very good team, young combination that you've got. What are you expecting from them tonight?
I think they will try and play the same pattern that they did against New Zealand. But on the other hand, you can't underestimate Australia while they're down there, because I think they're also a very competitive side, and it's a test match and you can't underestimate them. So we're looking forward for a very good game.
John Eales has been under a little bit of pressure. There's been changes to the Australian team. Do you think they'll exploit that?
I think yes, because there's a lot of changes in the Australian side, and keeping on changing a side, it makes it difficult for John Eales to keep the spirit of the players there. But we'll see after the game, during the game tonight, that John Eales will take his team through the game, and because he's a good captain, he will look good after the players during the game. Just hope for the best.
Well, thanks, Chester, and welcome to Australia. Enjoy the game.
Thank you very much.
Yes, a wonderful little player. The pyrotechnic spectacular now. Hopefully Chester Williams will be back in that Springbok jersey very shortly. After the break, the two sides take the field, and also two very passionate anthems. Yes, a spectacular pre-match celebration here at Suncorp Stadium as we count down to kick-off between South Africa and Australia. A brilliant scene here at Suncorp Stadium. This is the third match of the Tri-Nation Series. Australia playing only their second international here at Suncorp in Brisbane. And the great news is that we have a beautiful, balmy evening. Brisbane has turned on a corker, and there's a very big crowd in here at Suncorp Stadium, in excess of 35,000 at the moment. And Gary Teichmann leading out the Springboks for the 14th time. This is his 20th international. He led Natal to back-to-back victories in 95-96 in the Currie Cup. And Oz Durant, the magnificent scrummager. Oz Durant from Free State, just 24 years of age, Narkodrotsky, and also Davi Teron. It's a very big, powerful Springbok forward pack, and some exciting newcomers in the backs. A lot of speed there, and what a welcome they get here at Suncorp. Oz Durant, Simon Poitevin, a man who's really going to take it to the Aussies tonight, but he has surprising mobility.
Well, he got a bit of a touch-up on the way out there, ran right into those fireworks and got a bit scorched, so that may have got him really going for this game.
There's trainer Otto. Just one change to the Springbok side that performed so heroically against the All Blacks 2 weeks ago at Ellis Park. Tight head prop Davi Teron is in for the injured Marius Hurter, and the young inexperienced backline has just 68 caps between them. Mark Andrews is the senior forward. He's 34th international. The Aussies to arrive very shortly. There's the scene in the Australian dressing room. Dirk Williams there, Greg Smith the coach, but the players are having their final G-up. and shortly to be led out by the great John Eales. John Eales is John Mackay, the Wallaby manager, but Ealesy, Slippery they call him, his 47th match. The Australians are certainly very pumped. They have been vilified. Very disappointing effort as far as they were concerned against the All Blacks. They didn't play anywhere near their potential, but they want to put all of that aside tonight as Suncorp erupts for John Eales' Wallabies. And Chris Handy is down on the touchline, very close to all those fireworks. Have you been since, Chris?
I was with Chester Williams for a while. He's a speedster, but this is a great scene. As we talked about the intimacy of this ground, overhanging the sideline, quite different to Melbourne, and it is going off.
Well, a host of changes, Chris, to the Wallaby side from the loss to New Zealand at the MCG. Injuries to Burke, Horan and also Morgan. See recalls for Stephen Larkham, David Knox and Owen Finnegan. And it's a revamped back row, Simon Poitevin.
Yeah, this back row will go very well tonight. David Knox and feeding that back row too. Cobain, I think, will be a success there. Brett Robertson, you'll see him come on during the game, as will Troy Coker. And Owen Finnegan, he'll add a lot of fire to this and passion to this team tonight. He is a terrific player.
Yes, Owen Finnegan, the man they call Mellon. He was the best and fairest player for the Brumbies last season and runner-up this year. He's been in super form, and finally he gets his chance in the Australian Test jumper. And Ben Tune, hopefully he's going to get some quicker ball tonight with the recall from South Africa of the Fox, David Knox. And before the anthems take place, there will be a moment's silence for the tragedy that occurred just over 60 hours ago in Thredbo in the Alpine Mountains of southern New South Wales. Miraculously, there was a survivor pulled out today, Stuart Diver, and the whole of this nation has been watching those events throughout the day. So we stand by now for a moment's silence as Suncorp Stadium arises in tribute after the events in Thredbo. So now we stand by for the national anthems, and I'd suggest they're going to be sung very passionately by these two sides here tonight. Youngster Percy Montgomery, who's been a real star in recent matches against the Lions and the All Blacks. And now, advance Australia fair. Well, a very emotional moment for both sides, and a pat one too for Jason Little, who's the new Australian vice-captain and playing his 46th international tonight. There's Owen Finnegan, and there's the reserve bench, and expect to see quite a few of these players on the field here tonight at Suncorp Stadium. With Chris Handy very close to the action down there. A referee for this game is Colin Hawke from New Zealand. But how did you enjoy that build-up, Chris?
Great intensity down here, Gordon, and Colin Hawke, the man in the middle. He's the one that's going to have to keep a nice, even hand tonight.
Simon Poitevin, here we go. This should be a rip snorter. Can the South Africans reproduce their passion and intensity from the clash at Ellis Park against the All Blacks a fortnight ago? David Knox gets an early touch. Manu. The Wallabies inside their quarter. South Africa desperately trying to stall the ball up off the ground here. Now Gregan has his chance. Knox will get another touch.
On the deck.
Well, Colin Hawke knew he made a mistake then. That ball was on the way out. Had a terrific year last year, Colin Hawke. His form this year has been up and down.
So Australia outweighing the Springboks surprisingly by 31 kilos, Chris.
Yes, Gordon, that's hard to imagine with 220 kilo jobs. Dowie, Theron and Osteron in the front row. They're big men.
Well, the Australian front row really wants to prove a point tonight. They disappointed last week, and that's an early free kick.
Square it up, pushes on early, back off, thanks.
So the referee wants the two scrums packing square on. Springboks penalised. Here's David Knox. It came off the side of his boots, but the touch just 5 metres from halfway.
Well, this is one part of the South African game coming up, which they do very well at, and that's the line-out. Mark Andrews, Ray now Otto, Carol Duplessis, the coach, Narko Drotsky to throw the ball in, but Andrews, a superb jumper at number 2.
He's opposing Matt Cobain, but beautifully taken by Otto. This is Montgomery. They've turned it over. John Eales now. David Knox with quick hands, lovely hands. Ben Tune. Beautiful hands there from the Aussie backs. And Tune gets some space and a touch early on. Well, we haven't seen that right throughout the international series. And the crowd loved it. Tune is electrifying on that right wing.
Great counter attack there from the Wallabies. Tune, how good is this guy? Does the right thing here and pulls back, waits for another player to come in. But it eventually gets swamped by the Springbok defence.
Straight up, guys.
Well, the Wallabies are demonstrating that they really want to try and keep this ball in hand and control it. Foley up towards the back, John Eales. Gregan and Knox again. Tune was wrapped up. Springbok defence sweating on him. We're 5 metres into South African territory. Here's Gregan. Knox on the right. Good cut-out pass. That's Foley out there. Australia make inroads. A good clean-out too. Here's Gregan. Coming down near the quarter. Was he outside the quarter? I think he was. That's why he couldn't get the mark. South Africa drive ahead now. They've taken it ahead 15. Knox is caught there by Andrews. South Africa now. 35 metres out. De Beer has a go. It's Teichmann. 10-metre line. Springbok territory. Cracking start to the game. And Van der Westhuizen takes play into Australian territory.
Well, it's that short side that this man, Just Van der Westhuizen, is going to use a lot, making sure that Australia's new back row combinations on their money. And you can expect during the week.
There's going to be a penalty here, Chris. Paddy O'Brien, our touch judge. Clayton Thomas from Wales on this side. But there was some interference with an Australian player off the ball. I'm not sure whether it was the Mark Andrews-David Knox incident. But the penalty is going to the Wallabies here.
Well, the crowd will love this.
Off the ball, taking the man out without the ball.
There's the call from Colin Hawke.
Back 10, thanks. Taking the man out without the ball, back of the ruck, touch judge report, no number. Thank you.
What a superb pass from David Knox. Set Foley up the sideline.
David Knox goes for the touch. He gets it, 5 metres out. Well, it's been a very positive beginning by the Australians with some slick hands.
Just pull your rib. I'll need you to move along. Hold on. Holding. Cross.
This corner of the field absolutely jam-packed with spectators. Michael Foley finding it hard to hear the calls.
Australian line-up has bunched up at the front. Eales now goes towards the back. Foley taking a lot of time here. He's taking too long.
Get the ball!
That's ridiculous there from the Australians. And the free kick has gone to South Africa for taking far too long to get the ball in. That's crazy stuff.
It's a disgraceful lack of concentration at a key moment in the game, in a beautiful attacking position, and Greg Smith knows it. Look at the disgust on his face. He is shattered.
Well, that was a potential try-scoring situation for the Australians.
Across. Holding there.
So, the noise, cacophony from the big crowd causing problems. Eales. Richard Harry came in to sweep. He makes a bit of ground. Good clean out here for Gregan. And Knox. Just working it in behind the Springbok forwards. And we're down on the 22, but a cool head there from Knox.
David Knox was looking for that ball to pull up a bit short, so the Springboks took it in a touch. Not so. Now Narkodrotsky will find one of his jumpers with this ball. Very interesting that Paddy O'Brien in the background there telling that Michael Foley down the guts with the throw. A bit of a distraction.
So can Naka go down the guts? Andrews Heels got it. Great work by the skipper. Out to the midfield. Little. Well taken. David Wilson arrived. Off the feet. Play on. Great hands from Tune. Andrew Heath arrives. Australia want this one quickly.
Get around. Get out of it. Get out of it.
Now they roll it. It's only 18 metres out. Stern resistance here from the South Africans. Regan goes in. Here's David Knox. Here's Roth. Roth still going. Knox on the loop. Beautiful pass there to fullback Larkham. 15 metres out. Springboks arrive there first. Australia consolidates. Knox again. Almost intercepted. Lost ahead by Andrews. Australia with the attacking scrum, centre field. Great defence there from the South African team.
Great defence, certainly was, but David Knox really trying to push that pass in front of the player. He got the good quick ball. Look at this, putting it well out in front of the man. Matt Cobain out there to take it, not running onto it.
So the Australian scrum holds up well again. Knox has gone to the right. Now it's Holbeck and Little through the dummy. Manu! The Australians only 5 metres out. Great support play from Wilson again. Gregan now, Knox. The chances on it must be. Larkham. Beautiful try to the Wallabies. Still no smile from Greg Smith, but I think he can afford one.
Oh, the game's all about attitude, and what an attitude this Wallaby side has taken onto the ground at Suncorp tonight. David Knox providing beautiful ball. An attack after attack. This time Holbeck provides a switch to Jason Little, and Manu steams up the field, turns, finds Wilson. Wilson's having a fine game. Ball is driven forward by the Australians, and this time it's just numbers wide. As we see George Green gets to Knox, Knox to Larkham, Larkham strolls through.
This is a very balanced team try, and Knox is the one creating the doubt in the South African defence's mind. He's drawing in the defenders, allowing these men, and Larkham particularly outside, that bit of room.
So Stephen Larkham gets his first test try. He played fly half in the second half at the MCG against the All Blacks last week. Now David Knox. His last test for Australia was at Lansdowne Road last year against the Irish. He was dropped after that game after scoring the match-winning try.
Well, he's got number 10 on his back, and he's had 10 possessions so far. He's passed it 9 and kicked it once.
4 metres in from this touchline. Great kick. What a boomer! Converted try into the Wallabies, 7-0.
6:30.
From Yanni de Beer, John Eales took it beautifully. So good ball here for the Australians again. Manu goes ahead. You can see the passion is really there for both sides tonight, but particularly the men in goal. Hold back. Went backwards. Gregan again to Knox. Got a good purchase on that one. Russell Bennett now. Bennett. Collared by Little and turned. Australia arrive. South Africa hold on. Osdurant goes in. But a silly penalty given away by the Australians there. No excuse for that.
Your hooker, round, offside. Filling with the ball in the back of the ruck.
Well, Michael Foley's got to watch. He's on the side. He's not bound. The referee had mentioned it. He did grab after the ball had been picked up, but he was still not in an onside position.
So Yanni de Beer punishes that error by the Australians, and he's taken play to within 25 metres of the Aussie goal line.
Matt Cobain hobbling in back play there, but he's okay. Loving it out there at number 6.
You're right, Simon, and it was he that got up in front of Mark Andrews, that last line out that turned over.
Pintar. South Africa through Van der Westhuizen. Gregan got him. And crunching defence there from Matt Cobain, the youngster from Innisfail.
Well, what a matchup tonight. Van der Westhuizen and George Gregan. Two of the best in the world, if not the best.
So Michael Foley right on the Australian 22. John Eales again to Harry, who's been sweeping well. Stephen Larkham on his left foot. Good pressure there from Ruben Kruger and also Gary Teichmann.
Should be some excellent combinations out there for the Wallabies in the back line tonight. There's 5 Brumbies out there. Mitch Hardy might get on later. They've made 6. Played such exciting rugby during the Super 12.
Well, South Africa have just about dried up with possession of the ball. It's been difficult to get off the Wallabies. They've got to get a hold of it now that they're in a good position.
Picked up by Otto again, but there's good pressure coming from the Wallabies. There's Heath the tackler, Van der Westhuizen. Mats Skolkbeek, 10-metre line, Australian territory. Van der Westhuizen looks short side. De Beer, clever kick. Gregan's there. Mighty take by Gregan. And some bustling defence there from Urs Durant. 120 kilos on 78.
He just carried him around as if it was a piece of cake. Good work coming back to short side against South Africa and using that ball in. But look at George Gregan. Jumps for the ball, catches it one-handed. Look at him, standing strong and just wheels Jos Durant across the line as easy as you'd like.
So the Springboks rattled by the early try, but clawing back in here. Teichmann at the back. They've lost it. Wilson clears it. Lovely work. He's Roth. He's beaten 3 or 4. But no advantage there for the Australians. Just some handling errors creeping in from the Springboks in their midfield.
Well, the Springboks, when they played New Zealand at Ellis Park, had only a minimum number of turnovers, 6 during the game.
Binding, get it up!
Australian scrum holding well. Pass almost intercepted. Here's Joe Roth. Again, crunching defence. Gregan, Harry. Good charge from the loose head prop. And a good clean out again. Knox. Cut out to Little. Little almost through. He's over halfway. Gregan again. The quick ball's coming for the Australians. Finnegan. Andrew Heath arrives. Knox overlap. Pass from Little just in front of David Wilson. 4 on 2 that time. The Australians on the front foot.
Well, this isn't a bad thing seeing him push that ball in front, because what it's doing is it's making the support players really steam onto the ball. Jason Little working his way, trying to stay on his feet. Finnegan into the game early, and they'll need plenty of him in behind their pack. And watch this ball go in front. Now, they need the man running onto it, but Wilson and Cobain struggle.
Eels pinched it. Here's Gregan. Somehow kept it in play. Wilson, the link man. Larkham links up with his forwards. Good ball again here for George Gregan. Finnegan's with him here. Straight through. That's the ACT Brumbies combination. Gregan again to Knox. Big overlap for Australia. Knox on the loop. Pass was behind. Regathered by Roth. He's trying to offload.
Don't talk to me. Go away. We'll spin around on you.
Well, David Knox complaining to the referee. And a little caution on the run there to the Australian players from Colin Hawke. Knocking the ball down, I think.
Good work by the Australians. They're just trying to show the ball out wide. Really good work, and that time overrunning it as if just can't quite get it right. But further advantage, good position here to score from.
Bit of a tough penalty there on the Springboks. Hand to the ball, really wasn't too deliberate. More of a intercept coming out of it.
Well, Michael Foley will get this one in faster. 15 metres out. Manu's up the front. John Eels at the back, unopposed. Harry doing a grand job with his sweeping. Gregan and Manu. Yes! Big Daniel Manu gets the second try for Australia. He's third in test matches, and the Wallabies are on fire.
As the Wallabies did last year after the debacle in Wellington, they've come back tonight against the Springboks, and they have been on fire. Look at that jump from John Eels. Gregan gets it, slip shoe here, a fantastic pass. The big Daniel Manu stretches out, over.
Great work from Daniel Manu, but good heady stuff. George Gregan is getting beautiful, quick ball, and it makes all the difference when you can find the gaps and then find players like this. He stretches right through. What a great try.
Daniel Manu, called to South Africa for the 1995 World Cup through injury, replaced David Wilson against Romania. 14-0 Australia. Tries for the Australians. Stephen Larkham and Daniel Manu in the 8th and 16th minutes. And we've seen a very enterprising display from the Aussie forward pack. They've been getting in behind their opponents, and the backs have been complementing perfectly. South Africans have been stunned by this early Australian onslaught. David Knox again. Big cut out into space. Larkham. Little's with him. Oh, he'd be annoyed with himself there. Jason Little dropping the ball in space. Very anxious to get on with it. But that's been a little problem for the Australians. They're so enthusiastic tonight.
No ball.
They've just got to pull it back just a tad.
Yeah, Jason Little, a couple of unforced errors. The earlier pass out wide, drop ball. Normally so reliable.
See what happens, listen, fellas.
The big man in the front row as Tim Horan looks on with a smile on his face, and well he might.
Right, in you go.
Good drive there from the Australian scrum. Andre Fenta, taken by Knox, who did a cartwheel. De Beer, Montgomery, this is fullback, Bennett and Rousseau, fullback to beat. Almost there, South Africa. Van der Westhuizen wants it. Australia hold on. 3 metres out.
Pick it up.
They're trying to keep it up off the ground.
Let it go. Let it go.
It's there for the Springboks. Tysman into scrum half. De Beer. Oh, they've knocked on again. Ruben Kruger that time.
Excellent attack there from the Springboks. Dies in his last part of the movement. As Manu goes down with looks like a shoulder injury. Has had some problems with his shoulders this year.
So the score here at Suncorp, Australia leading South Africa by 14-0.
Scrum going well so far. Richard Harry just concentrating, really driving in on Dowie for the on.
Yes, Richard Harry appreciating not having to take on Olo Brown. He's enjoying this confrontation and playing superbly. So we're 18 metres out from the Wallaby goal line.
In the line-out so far, the Australians leading the line-out 6-4, and John Eales has won 6, including 2 from the Springboks.
Well, the senior players have really had a lot to say in the build-up to this game for the Australian team. Fine jump there by Otto. Now the bulk of the Springbok pack. It's only 8 metres out from the Wallaby goal line. Dronsky's there. Van der Westhuizen wants it. The Australians holding onto the ball. Kruger. Driving tackle by Manu. Well, a professional penalty conceded there by the Australians. And that sort of thing certainly bordering on a sin bin offence.
Great defence here by the Wallabies. Last week we saw them allow the ball carrier to get in behind that first line, but David Wilson driving there, and there it was on the ground, and it was scooped back by the Wallabies. Clearly in a ruck, you can't put your hands in and pick it up.
Ruben Kruger had a sensational game against the All Blacks 2 weeks ago. Stole about 3 balls off them in the maul situation, which is almost unheard of.
So Yanni de Beer, spectacular goal kicker, 22 points against the All Blacks a fortnight ago at Ellis Park. That's easy pickings for him. So the Springboks are on the scoreboard. Australia 14, South Africa 3. Well, the Wallabies have scored 14 tries now this season, and 12 of those have been by the back line. This is the 36th international since 1933 between Australia and South Africa, and possession and territory reflected on the scoreboard. Markham goes high just in the field of play. Eales did well. Knock back, Knox. Overlap here for Foley. He went without it. So 2 knockbacks there by the Australians, but the second one just travelling forward. So some sloppy handling has let Australia down in very promising situations.
Green ball.
Excellent work from John Eales to get that ball back from the kickoff. And George Gregan found a good pass, but David Knox, unfortunately, a little bit uncoved.
Here's Gregan now, and Knox again, just drawing the man. Cobain. Big charge by him. 27 metres out. Durant coming through. Knox again. Australia set up. Gregan to Knox. Here's Ben June. He darts. Oof. He ran into a big tackle from Durant. Cobain now. They set it up just outside the 22. Knox open side. What's he going to do? Here comes Larkham. Stephen Larkham. Did he get it? No. Well, a spectacular kick. Gregan saying, what about the momentum? No joy there for the Wallabies.
David Knox, the wizard, look at him go. What a kick. Ooh, that was high. Larkham steaming towards the line, gets caught short.
Looks like a good decision there from the referee. That's try-saving tackle from the Springbok skipper, Gary Teichmann.
But it's this quick tactical thinking by Knox, who sees the opportunity, though there were men out there. They were inside Stephen Larkham, and he was caught on his back. He eventually gets it down, but good decision by Colin Hawke.
14-3 Australia. And a hand in the scrum from the Australians, and the free kick awarded to South Africa. So Australia making mistakes from those set pieces, only 5 metres out from the goal line. Here's Larkham. And Joe Rock loping after the ball here, just outside the 22. Rock was there. Van der Westhuizen. Oh, big tackle. 15 metres out. And Australia gets the scrum feed. South Africa not happy that time.
South Africa disgusted with themselves. And the decision here, when it's a ruck and that's the ball on the ground, when it's going forward, the side going forward prior to it gets the put in, they're disgusted with themselves.
Well, a very clear decision by the referee, and South Africa going backward that time before the ruck was formed.
Round 90.
Daniel Manu hitting hard tonight. And look at that hit from Foley, getting Heath into that scrum, tightening up that front row.
Matt Cobain pushing behind Richard Harry on this side, and someone trod on the referee's foot.
It's good scrumming by South Africa. They're just driving across from Ulster on side, just shearing across the base on Australia's put in.
Scrum gone down on the tight head side. Referee wants it cleared. David Knox. Gregan. Larkham. Gregan again. 10 metres out. Tune. Another one. How did Georgie Gregan get that pass away? The Wallabies are running riot in this first half. It's sleight of hand. Third try.
Well, the call from the referee to clear the ball did George Gregan a favour. They got the ball wide. Gregan does a lot of good work here. It's Tune. He should have been stopped there. Got past Peter Rousseau.
When you're hot, you're hot. George Gregan, Ben Tune, what a combination. Two players in form, and look at it. Just watch as he's able to stand up the pass. Go, Ben Tune, go. You good thing.
Well, the Wallabies have really discovered the running game here tonight. They've gone out there and had a go. They've kept the ball alive. And they've just touched down for their third try. Ben Tune, he's fifth in a test match. Exciting youngster he is.
It's quite amazing. Last week in Melbourne, Tim Horan had 15 passes of the ball for the full game. At this stage, David Knox has passed it 19 times with only 13 minutes left in the first half.
Well, he's certainly cast a spell over the Springbok defence. So far, he's kicked 2 from 2. Australia to hit 21 here. And he'd be disappointed with that one. 16-point advantage for the Wallabies.
$16 points it was the difference when the All Blacks started their comeback in Johannesburg only 2 weeks ago. And this has hurt them. But 2 points from David Knox would have been better.
Yanni de Beer. Nicely weighted kick. Eels underneath. Andrews tried to spoil David Wilson. Well, Wilson certainly has been in everything so far in this first half. Gregan again. Ben Tune into fly half. Needs support. John Eales arrives, so does Harry. Coming for Gregan. The players in the way there. John Eales complaining about Narkodrotsky on the ground, so Australia gets a scrum feed.
They're talking about the players in the way, just loitering in that back of the ruck situation and asking for some advantage. But not so from Colin Hawke, who won't be talked into anything tonight. Carol Duplessis, coach with a lot on his mind.
Yes, well, Carol Duplessis was certainly a very tense man in the build-up. Paddy O'Brien's having a chat with Colin Hawke as Michael Foley getting some back adjustment from Malcolm Brown, the Australian physio. So Michael Foley just saying, whose ball, mate? Scrum feed Australia.
It's going to be a goal scrum. Hold, crouch and hold. Yeah, not ready. Hold it. Just hold. No, on me. Go.
Well, the South Africans haven't been in the game. 30 minutes gone. The Wallabies leading 19-3. Can they sustain it?
19.
The ball going through, or the scrum going through 90 degrees. And it will be put down again. 35 metres out from the Wallaby goal line.
There's a heap of power coming through this South African scrum, starting to tell.
Taking the scrum down, says the referee. Here's Gregan.
The scrummage.
Well, the Wallaby front row under big pressure that time.
Well, this is sensible tactics. Knox has got a big kick. Get down there. Use a superb Australian line-out.
David Knox just querying whether the South Africans were back the full 10 metres. There was only 9 metres, I think. So the referee concurred. Knox must get the touch here. And he's now 37 metres out from the Springbok goal line.
Well, look at that stat. It's just fantastic. A supply of ball to David Knox, and look at the use of it.
John Eales to Gregan, and Knox again. Manu was cut out. Here's Finnegan. Big charge. 25 out. Well, again, some loitering there, and players getting in the way.
Sorry, I didn't see it. Yeah.
And I think the South Africans wanted some advantage that time as they were taking off on the short side.
Well, Colin Hawke's normally good on his playing advantage. Watch Owen Finnegan here, just splits them wide. Very poor tackle there by Fenter.
Back to Teichmann. Van der Westhuizen. Kicking for the touchline. And we're just into Australia's territory. So tries to Stephen Larkham, Daniel Manu and Ben Tune. 3 tries to 0. Knox has converted 2. And Australia by 19-3.
You can't see this type of play being the benefit of South Africa. Van der Westhuizen he's a wonderful runner with the ball, and he's got to get this back row of his into the game. They were outstanding 2 weeks ago. It looks like the layoff, they've just gone off the boil.
John Eales, dexterous once more. Gregan out to the midfield. Little wasn't expecting it. Just reacted a little slowly that time. Gregan again. Knox working some space for Roth. Holbeck couldn't hold on. Australia turn it over. Van der Westhuizen's dangerous in this situation. Gregan's watching him. Yanni de Beer. Well, that's Van Schalkwyk. Larkham inside his quarter, no pressure. And a wasted kick. Larkham goes on. Joe Roth looks to have gone out on the full. And that too wasted for the Wallabies.
Very unusual. Joe Roth didn't take that ball and keep on running with it. Larkham would have backed around him. He would have plenty of firepower out there.
Just hasn't seemed himself in the last few weeks. Had a brilliant Super 12. This has put some more pressure on the team in their 22.
Mark Andrews there. Eales has pitched it again.
Hands on, left out before.
Lifting him too early. Van der Westhuizen wants it. And they've been penalised another 10 metres. Rightly so. It's a free kick though. Van der Westhuizen, he's dangerous. Drotsky. 8 metres out. Van der Westhuizen. Kruger. Wrapped up by Harry. Crunching tackle. Finnegan comes in. Big tackle on Osderant. They've turned him. But he managed expertly to slip it back. Loose pass. Van Schalkwyk. David Wilson tries to dispossess. South Africa going forwards. We're only 9 metres out.
I think these South African backs will quickly find out through the heavy traffic there. There's some big hitters. Manu, Finnegan, Cobain, to name 3.
This match is coming to you live and exclusively across Australia on the 7 Network and live around the world on One World of Sports and Sky in New Zealand, B-Sky B and Canal Plus in Europe, Mnet South Africa, ESPN Star TV in Southeast Asia, and also EMTV in Papua New Guinea. Osderant, a little flick pass. Van der Westhuizen trying to scamper through. He now has a chance. Well, that's an opportunity gone begging for the Springboks.
Shut up! That's enough! Skip up! Come on.
Well, the penalty has been reversed.
There's too much noise.
Because of some back chat.
Like that. Doesn't matter. I want you to stop.
Well, that's crazy stuff again from the Australians.
Not acceptable, okay? So you're back there.
Chris?
Crazy good, and just these little lack of discipline. Michael Foley, I think, the culprit. You can't allow your emotions to run over in that situation. Referee being very strict, but quite right if he wants to get and keep control of the game.
South Africa wants 7 points here. Some self-destructing by the Australians. Osderant is over the goal line, and he got it. He got the try. Osderant gets his third Test try, and he showed surprising toe that time. Springboks hit back.
This is exactly where the lack of discipline can cost you. 7 points, a very simple tap move to a very big and powerful man. He hits the line, they look as though they've held him up. He's a juggernaut towards it and then gets it down. The referee's there. It looked like he may have lost the ball just as he went over the line. The referee was right on spot.
So the conversion successful, and the margin back to just 9 points.
Well, the big problem with the Australian defence there was no one went low. Osderant, 120 kilos, powerful runner. You just can't wrestle him to the ground. Here he goes. Wilson goes high, tries to bulldog him down with Manu. It's all too late. Ruben Krieger coming through, Drotsky as well.
Restart from Larkham. Andrews to Wilson. Australia trying to steal it, but the ball going to grounds. We're 15 metres from the halfway line. The South Africans just getting some more poise and composure after that try.
It's been a better aspect of the Wallaby game is the contesting at the restart. They've really been in there and pressured the South Africans.
Well, the big South African scrum moves the Wallaby 8 ahead.
Here we are.
This wrestling, no doubt, will take its toll in the last quarter.
Crouch and hold. Engage. Righto. Binding.
Richard Harry there, binding with one arm on the ground so that the scrum doesn't collapse. On Skolkbeek. That was Montgomery and his tune. That's Van Skolkbeek coming through with the tackle, ball and all.
Let it go! Let it go!
And again, some hands in the ruck from the Australians. Players not on their feet.
Well, going back to that Australian scrum, we're very critical of Olo Brown for dropping that hand down onto the ground. As the Australians get absolutely steamrolled here by the Springboks. So the same criticism should apply to Richard Harry.
There's no doubt about that, and it is starting to tell. The Springboks are doing it through their scrum, applying an awful lot of pressure. And you can see, unless Richard Harry disputes the fact that that his opposite number is taking an inside grip, and he won't be able to put his hand on the ground.
So the Australian front row getting together there, as well they might. They have to answer this challenge. Yanni de Beer from 47 metres out. He kicked a 45-metre drop goal at Ellis Park against the All Blacks. This would close the gap to just 6 points. Less than 3 minutes before half-time. He struck it fairly sweetly. Hit the post. Stephen Larkham. Well, that's a big let-off for the Wallabies.
2 minutes 30 in this first half remaining. Critical time, 9 points of difference. Wallabies must continue to attack. They've really dropped off that. South Africa coming into the possession stakes.
And the moral to the story is the Wallabies don't want scrums. Finnegan again, he's having a blinder. Gregan and Knox. Backs haven't seen it for a while. Little! Wasn't a great pass. So the Australians spoil themselves yet again. South Africa now through Drotsky. That's Teichmann over halfway. And the Westhuizen to De Beer. That one's gone too far. Larkham.
Get away, get away.
Chance here for Larkham. Interfered with. That's a penalty against Van Skolkbeek. Looks like Huntscock-Bake's going to be called out. Cleverly milked there by Stephen Larkham. Just over a minute before half-time. Here's Finnegan again. Fleischmann, the tackler. Harry.
Last week.
David Knox. Rifling that one. Inside the corner. Great kick.
Knoxie's back with a vengeance. Every part of his game tonight, including his defence, has been first class.
It's amazing to watch how wider and how deeper David Knox stands, and immediately there's space created by his positioning alone.
No, pretty good goal. Don't walk across, thanks.
Well, what he's done has created time and space for the outside man. Mark Andrews at the front. Clever jump.
Back foot.
Van der Westhuizen just trying to get the penalty. De Beer doesn't get his touch. Larkham. In the centre is Roth. Now June. Bit of a chance here. Here's Little. He recovered well. Straight up the centre. But then, not a great pass. Wilson cleaned up. Here's Gregan again. Back to Harry. Knox is there. The hoot is gone. June! Ben June! His second! What a spectacular entry there by the 20-year-old Ben June! And what a score on half-time. Silken passing skills again from the Wallaby backs.
What a lesson in determination from this young man. Not even 21, Ben Tune. He's been playing rugby union since the age of 13. The Australians keep the ball alive here. Knox again, gives Tune room. A poor tackle there from De Beer, and Tune across.
This young guy's taken the game by the scruff of the neck. He's just so positive and so strong and so clear in what he's about when he gets possession. He loves doing this sliding over belly down.
Look, I think Ben Tune's seen more ball in this first half than he has in the last 5 test matches.
No doubt about it.
It's showing on the scoreboard. The Wallabies get a standing ovation here at Suncorp. 26-10 at halftime. Back after the break. And Ben Tune, a scintillating performance. His second try there right on half-time. And the Wallabies running riot here at Suncorp. Half-time score, Ben Tune. A scintillating performance. His second try there right on half-time. And the Wallabies running riot here at Suncorp. Half-time score, 26 plays 10, 4 tries to 1. And Simon Poitevin, what about that first 40 minutes?
Well, I've got to say, Dick Cox, Paul McLean and Greg Smith, why David Knox, why he's been selected. It's been fantastic the first half. He's had so much ball to use there, 27 possessions. Australia has had 70% of the ball. And there they are, the IBM stats.
Yes, and it may not be as obvious as you think. Well, George Gregan says that David Knox is a black man trying to break out of a white man's body. He's certainly done it all here tonight, and so have the Australian forwards. We'll be back after the break. And Suncorp Stadium is just jumping. The crowd gives the Wallabies a rousing ovation as they return to the field. And half-time score here, incredible scoreboard. Australia 26, South Africa 10. Wallabies running in 4 tries in that first half, 2 to the brilliant youngster, the 20-year-old Ben Tune, and there he is, the man of the moment, David Knox. Daniel Manu also getting one of those 4 tries.
Well, another new face in the team, Owen Finnegan. What a storming first half he's had. He's hungry, he's hard, he's hurting people, he's making busts.
Well, I think, many people have been saying that Finnegan is one of the best forwards in the country, but he hasn't been able to crack the test team, but he's made a huge impact, as you say, Simon. But Chris Handy down on the touchline. What about that situation?
Guys, look, Owen Finnegan's back on. He's really made a difference in behind. He's wearing number 22 jersey back on the field. He had it ripped off his back. The other one was in shreds as they went off.
So the Wallabies really wanting to put this one away now. They have the Springboks on the rack. South Africa, though, assuredly will come back very hard. Their inexperienced backline has been exposed tonight, and they haven't got those touches. Here's Big Joe Roth. Larkham. They've turned it over. Venter. Andre Snyman. Van Schalkwyk arrives. Turon now into the Aussie quarter. Silly mistake by the Australians at the back. Kruger now. Little the tackler. Ball and all. 18 metres out. Finnegan came in to try and spoil. Yanni de Beer wants it. He gets it. Here comes Venter. On the charge. Eels took him. Big charge that was by the number 7. Van der Westhuizen caught by Eels. What a grand tackle from behind. Back now for Kruger. De Beer. Montgomery shows his pace. Eels got him again. Incredible defence from the Wallaby skipper. And Australia wins the ball. Is there nothing John Eales can do?
Well, that was a very disorganised Springbok attack. They're just not going forward.
They don't seem to have their heart in it, Simon. They've been presented with a couple of opportunities, and John Eales has been inspirational. Gone is that grimace on his face, as if he was really lost focus from Melbourne, and he's clear-headed and doing some great work.
Well, this is one part of the Australian game which is not good.
Yes, they're not enjoying the scrummaging, Australia.
Well, Osteron on this side of the scrum is fearing back into Andrew Heath, who's got to keep him square. And it's that drive across the scrum, the strength of this guy, those big shoulders underneath that number 1 jersey. And he's creating that drive in from this side, which is putting a lot of pressure on Michael Foley.
Well, he's in trouble, Chris.
Yeah, he had some attention to his back, and whether it's a, you know...
So the score here, 26-10, Australia. Yes, Michael Foley. Well, we saw Sean Fitzpatrick's heroic deeds at the MCG. Foley will be looking for something similar in the second half.
This is really energy-sapping stuff. Just watch on this side. Andrew Heath needs to come a lot squarer on Oz Durant and keep him off the side. There, Durant going into the front row.
Much better scrummaging, though, from Heath that time. David Knox from inside his 22. Another raking kick over halfway.
Well, for a player who's just stepped off a plane on Tuesday from South Africa.
Wednesday morning, actually, Simon.
Fantastic performance.
He spent most of the time in the spa bath, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry, you're right.
But he did fly back first class.
Sure, Noxie made the most of that.
Well, he says everything's first class in Durban. He's had the best month of his life over there with Ian McIntosh and the Natal Sharks. De Beer now, right on the advantage line. Great charge there by Van Schalkwyk. De Beer again, Montgomery. Australian defence is good. Holbeck went low. Here's Van der Westhuizen. Full back in front. He's a great runner. Gregan's there. Snyman caught by Gregan, who recovered superbly. How did George Gregan get back there?
And how good is Van der Westhuizen? Pace, vision. Watch him go. Noxie caught the wrong foot. Van der Westhuizen really confuses Larkham. Then gets a good pass wide, but Gregan's there to make the big tackle.
They need this man in their attack more often. He's key to firing them up, particularly those probing runs from the base of the ruck.
Well, David Wilson has had a mighty game here tonight. He's finally shrugged off injury, but looks as though that last tackle has aggravated that shoulder problem. Wilson across just to make sure that South Africa was put over the touchline.
All that weight coming down, he was at the bottom of that maul. He's okay.
John Eales. He's won every line-out for Australia. That was number 9. Just a colossus in the Australian pack.
Move the feet out of it. I'm coming to go back and pull the guy out. Number 4.
So,
Pull the guy's foot.
Crano Otto, the man penalised. We saw Oz Durant do that against Ian Jones at Ellis Park. And another big touch finder, 12 from halfway.
A great line out here that's well driven forward by the Australians. You can't do anything to collapse it. And there the man on the side, Crano Otto, just trying to upend Andrew Heath.
Eales again. Wasn't in straight. Well, John Eales' year 12 class at Marist Ascro is celebrating its 10-year reunion tonight. They're watching at Friday's nightclub on the big screen. And Eales will be visiting them later in the night.
Well, no wonder John Eales calls himself the line-out. He won all 8 line-outs in the first half for the Wallabies.
Van der Westhuizen. De Beer. Big cutout pass to Bennett. Now Rousseau. Big strong man who can stand in tackles. Van der Westhuizen snipes. It's 18 metres out. He showed good strength that time too.
Cool, bring through back. Get up on your feet, thanks.
Australia trying to slow that ball down and deservedly penalised there. It was desperate straights for them.
Option.
Good stretch here by the Springboks. Really worked the ball wide and just watch them pile into this one. There's a bit of the feet driving forward in that good motion.
It's interesting, Cobain there on the ground found the ball sitting on his chest. One choice to get it back to the Australian side, but the referee saw him.
Well, the All Blacks trailed Australia 22-9 last year at Suncorp. This margin is 16. Eales again. What an athlete. George Gregan. Stephen Larkham on his right. And Paddy O'Brien says it's found touch. 18 metres out from the goal line. Larkham looking for another 10 that time.
I reckon Colin Hawkes could get a job as a commentator out there. He's doing a great call again.
Mark Godrotsky. Teichmann at the back. Good drive by Caron. Van der Westhuizen to De Beer. Here comes Montgomery. Oh, they were waiting for him. Crunching defence by Finnegan. They've turned him over. And the penalty against Otto. John Eales getting a little frustrated. So too Ruben Kruger in the background.
Right now, Otto just hopping into it. Frustration there, and he's diving in with his feet at the back. Just let it unfold. They punch it up and get smashed by the Australian defence. And they get then the Springboks come into the back of it, and Owen Finnegan just gets just dusted here. Crano Otto nowhere near the ball, doing a tap dance on the leg.
Score here, 26-10 Australia.
Okay, that's all right.
So, Crano Otto has received a yellow card. That's his second for this season. And David Knox says, do we play on, sir? And the referee says yes. Cobain getting a bit of work there from the Springbok forwards.
Talk about telegraph a move, Yanni De Beer. Finnegan and Manu just couldn't believe it. Straight into their arms.
Springboks haven't been able to raise anywhere near the performance level at Ellis Park. Many felt that they'd struggled to play as well as that again. And Bennett has left the field. Or it's Andre Snyman, and James Small is on for his 40th cap. Harry again with some expert sweeping. Coming back for Gregan. Here's Owen Finnegan. Just that clever little flick from Gregan. They've worked it superbly. Wilson. Teichmann the tackler. Australia arrive in numbers. Gregan again. Knox wants it. Holbeck. Here's the loop. Not a great pass. Knox just took his eye off the ball and will come back. And Joe Roff kicks out on the floor.
You've got to say Joe Roff is just not having a good one. He can't get it to go right. Seemed so early in the season that he had the ball on a string, whether it was in the hand or by foot, as it goes horribly wrong in midfield for the Wallabies. Normally Joe Roff had put this into a better position.
So there have been a lot of handling errors from both sides. Put it down to lack of concentration. South Africa over the halfway line.
Here he is. Leave it alone, I'll spin it round now. Get back. Here he is offside.
Penalty against the Australians there, Daniel Manu. 16-point difference. The South Africans know they can still win this game. They take a big slice of territory here. Nearly 12 minutes gone.
Well, turnover's quite high. 10 to the Springboks, 8 to the Australians. Need to try and slow those down.
The calf injury to Andre Snyman will probably ensure that he doesn't see any more playing time.
Well, James Small, the South African record holder in his 40th international, might just be the inspiration. Manu at the back. Up to the quarter line. Gregan again. His volley. Back to Gregan. And Stephen Larkham. He gets a big one in there. Rousseau underneath. This is Bennett. Spots a gap. It closed. James Small. Coming back now for Van der Westhuizen. De Beer. It's Montgomery. Or Andre Venter over halfway. Clever little kick through. Gregan swept. Back to Larkham. Now Roth. Bit of space. Nice step. He beat 3. 12 from halfway. Gregan again. Short side here. He's Small. Well caught by Eales.
Yes, all right. Back away. Back away.
Touch judges in. Clayton Thomas on the far side.
Against who? Green winger. Cut it out. Off the ball stuff.
That's against James Small. Penalty Australia.
Well, seeing a lot of Clayton Thomas over the last couple of months as a referee and a touch judge, has done an excellent job.
Yep.
So Stephen Larkham now to drive play into South Africa's territory. 10-metre line. 26-10.
James Small cross on this side gets involved and he's always involved. John Eales will be looking for far more momentum from the Wallaby side. Penalties about even.
Matt Cobain at the front. That one is now worked ahead by the Australians. Foley wants it and has it. There's Andrew Heath. Wilson now. The Australians have marched at about 15 metres. Wilson still has it. Gregan and Knox. There's a chance here. Knox on the loop. Roth. Joe Roth. Can he get it out? The Australians exploiting that little gap beyond the outside centre.
Tackle only. Starts goal.
And it's 18 metres out.
It's good to see the Wallaby backs in there supporting that breakdown. That time Ben Choon, as Knox does another great loop around there. This time round Joe Roth taking the ground, but in come the backs. Ben Choon, Larkham to clean it out.
The far side of the field, injury to Peter Durant.
Australia 26, South Africa 10. This time there is no clock to run to in the second half, as there was at Suncorp last year against the All Blacks. So the Wallabies can't afford to be sitting on any lead. It's 26-10 at the moment. but they really want to consolidate. South Africa had played in fits and starts tonight, and Urs Durant is going to resume his place in this scrum 18 metres out from the goal line.
You see how much pace is in this game. Urs Durant, that jumper is soaked with sweat.
Holding, crouch and hold, wait till you get settled. Crouch and hold, goal ball. Holding, up, ready, go.
There's a good hit on there by the Australian scrum. But powerful shearing from South Africa. Here's Tune. He's been a handful. Manu's there. Gregan wants quick ball. South Africa tying it up again. Do they want 3 points? This is an absolute gift. So some stray feet that time. John Eales has plenty of time to think about this.
Tune on the hit, gets the ball back to Manu. Manu now goes to ground with Cobain. Now Cobain goes the deck here. All sorts of traffic around him. He's copped a kick there somewhere.
Well, Matt Cobain has produced a very robust performance tonight. He certainly is a wholehearted performer. He played at lock in the second row against the All Blacks at Lancaster Park and was dropped after that test. But it looks as though he's found his spot here tonight at blindside flank. And that eye has just closed up on him. And looks as though he may be a little concussed as well. So he's, well, according to the Australian players, copped a stray boot there.
Troy Coker warming up on the sideline.
So a big hand for Troy Coker. Former Queensland player, now with the ACT Brumbies, but always been a crowd favourite up here in Brisbane. So Coker coming on as a number 8, I think, and Manu to move to blindside flank. Simon, what do you think of that move?
Well, Coker's much more comfortable at number 8, and certainly Manu can play both the blindside role, number 8 role, each pretty well. So,
and it even strengthens that Brumbies combination at the back, Simon.
Yep, it's all together now.
Well, what has worked so well tonight have been the clever switches between Finnegan and also Gregan. They've created big holes in the South African defence. Here's Van der Westhuizen. Finnegan the tackler that time. South Africa in possession. Tuisman. Foley the tackler. It's 30 metres out. Australia 29-10. Kruger. Well tackled that time. Still controlled by the box. Urs Durant standing off here. He wants a run. Got away from Finnegan. Caught by Harry on the 22. De Beer. Oh, bad knock on there by Yanni De Beer. Well, he had a startling game against the All Blacks, but it hasn't worked for him tonight.
Well, one of his problems here tonight has been that the Springbok forward pack really hasn't been going ahead like they were during that game against the All Blacks 2 weeks ago.
Crouch and hold. Crouch and hold. Holding.
Andrew Heath telling Manu to really give some weight behind against Urs Durant. Ox versus Ox. Finnegan nicely. That was Coker. Here's Larkham. Well-weighted kick. Bennett. Tune! And Australia gets the line-out throw. Lovely kick there from Stephen Larkham. Tune can do no wrong tonight.
Thought he was going to finish up in my lap. He had him lined up for dropping him over the fence. Good play here, putting the pressure on. Kick and chase. The chase was just terrific. And there, Tune just not leaving him alone.
Well, Carl du Plessis, the Springbok coach, facing a 2-win from 6 test match record. And Daniel Manu still in trouble, and so is Davi Teron. So the score here, Australia 29, South Africa 10. And another one of Queensland's favourite sons, Brett Robinson, the ACT Brumbies skipper, is on. So he's come on for Daniel Manu. Knox and Holbeck, and Knox on the loop. Lovely hands. Tune again. De Beer the tackler. Gregan. Little now. Jason Little Chased by Small, Little lost it. But a good chase there by Ruben Kruger.
Well, that was good Springbok defence. That was a really sharp move by the Australians. And they cut him down. And Jason Little under a lot of pressure.
Can that turn things round for South Africa? Real determination there from Ruben Kruger.
David Wilson will need to watch detaching from that scrum right under the referee's nose if he lets go of that grip.
So 2 fresh back rowers on for Australia, Robinson and also Troy Coker. Van der Westhuizen has to clear it. Yanni de Beer, Coker tried to spoil. Robinson comes in. 10-metre line, Australian territory. Osdurant. Coming back with Van der Westhuizen. De Beer. Inside pass to Teichmann. Wilson the tackler. Andrews. Larkham in front. Van Skolkbeek taken by Gregan. Venter controls. But it has been lost ahead.
And the tackle.
Another try saver from George Gregan. 18 metres out from the goal line.
Springboks are watching the Australian defence spread across the field very effectively, and they've decided to take it in close, make that bust with firstly Teichmann. Teichmann finds Andrews, and there we see no Australian defender in front of him apart from Larkham. There comes across George Gregan.
Good reaction there, Chris, from Venter, but Osdurant with a head clash has been replaced by Adrian Garvey.
Here we are. Here's your mark.
It'll be interesting to see how the scrum sticks together. Garvey, very experienced. It's caused a changeover in the props with Davy Terong coming across to Loosehead. This is the time for Andrew Heath to exploit this changeover. Get a bit of grunt back in the Australian scrum.
Yes, Adrian Garvey from Natal. 116 kilos. There's not much respite for the Australian front row. So that's another big kick, and Rousseau looking, but not taking a quick throw here because Ben Tune had followed through. So we're 38 metres out from the Wallaby goal line. 17 minutes to go. Australia in control by 19 points. So Narkodrotsky now from Free State. Otto got it well. De Beer, he was cut out. Van Skolkbeek, taken by David Knox. Van der Westhuizen, that was a forward pass. Forward. And it's just not happening tonight for the Springbok backs.
Just can't work that inside ball. Just they're trying to bring it back inside to get the big man in behind, but it's just going all wrong.
Well, Andrew Heath just sliding down that time. Feet gave way from underneath him. He's really battled manfully there against Terron.
The possession's really swung round to the Springboks.
David Knox over Small's head. Oh, not another one. Russell Bennett got a wicked bounce, and they just seem to be on another planet at the moment, the Springboks.
Well, this is a position on the field that David Knox will love, and this is very elementary stuff. Rushed into it.
Now's the time to crank it up. The Wallabies have got to seize this moment on that mistake. Explode into action.
Well, the back row became unbound there. You saw Ruben Kruger.
Offside. Number 6. Green offside number 6.
He just anticipated and was left in no man's land. So John Eales looks as though he's electing for a shot at goal. Score here at Suncorp, Australia 29, South Africa 10. Stadium, third match of the Tri-Nation Series, and South Africa facing the music here. Looking at their second straight loss as David Knox lines up. This will be Australia's highest ever score against the Springboks and would take the Wallabies into the early 30s. Knox has 4 from 5. Make it 4, 5 from 6. Australia 32, South Africa 10. David Knox with 3 conversions and 2 penalty goals.
How sweet it is for David Knox. He's back.
And I think that stint in South Africa with Natal has been a blessing in disguise for him. It's been very tough over there. The Griqualand West boys certainly roughed him up. But they've prepared him for this match tonight. And the old master has been so confident. He's done it all before. And he's never been on a losing Australian test side. His tune now. Loose pass. South Africa just outside the quarter. Van der Westhuizen. Van der Westhuizen now to De Beer. Big cutout. Small. He got a start on Wilson. James Small. No one at home inside. Troy Koga was waiting for it. The Wallabies slow it down. Gregan. Knox. Hasn't got his touch. Montgomery. Montgomery running well. Kruger. 3, 2 on 1. The try's there for Andrews. And he got it. Stephen Larkham just had no hope of stopping this big man, 112 kilos. And South Africa belatedly hit back. They're not done with yet.
You can't give them the opportunity, and that kick from David Knox not going into touch was just the opportunity that they were looking for. Great work in the build-up. Small went very close. He found forwards out wide, and when the defence came to him, it was this opportunity back inside, not cleared well enough by the Wallabies, and Kruger brought it across. And look at this. This last pass was a bit doubtful, but the try is certainly not.
Excellent organisational skills there by the Springboks. Had 3 forwards out wide to counter-attack, and they did it well. Ruben Kruger, who's had a quiet game, starting to warm it up.
This is a big kick for De Beer. If he can get this, South Africa would then need 2 converted tries for victory. No joy for Yanni De Beer and the Springboks, so the margin is still 17 points. 32 plays 15.
Yanni De Beer, that penalty goal as Kruger sets Teichmann up, and Andrews just powers in. He knows he's got it there. Gets the ball down before it pops away from him.
So 14 minutes remaining in this game. Durant takes ahead. Durant arrives. Springboks getting their tries through Durant and Andrews. And we're 6 metres into Australia's territory.
Well, the Australians really started to possession the second half. First half, 70% of the ball. Referee just worried about the feet going in here.
And Matt Cobain, we've just heard that eye injury, and there the Mark Andrews stepping on the leg. He must have been close to the ball, but Matt Cobain, that eye injury, won't be back on the field, we've been told.
So James Holbeck getting a bit of a working over there. His Reebok jumper holding up well. Here's Van der Westhuizen then. Just inside Australia's half. Van Schalkwyk works to Teichmann. Gregan read it. Australia now on the open side. They might have snuck up there. This will be a penalty. Australia over anxious, not behind the last feet in the ruck. Wallabies have to be careful here that they and don't allow the Springboks back into the game. 17-point margin.
Well, Clayton Thomas there calling the offside line for Colin Hawke. Good to see looking a little more relaxed in the second half.
Looks like Andrew Blades will come on. Probably Andrew Heath will be replaced. Tight head.
Australia led 32-10. De Beer. Van Schalkwyk driving in hard. South Africa look as though they've turned it over. Knox comes into scrum half. Gregan is back there at fly half, and Roth. Good vision there by David Knox. And Joe Roth just not having a great night with his boot. That one sliding off the side just outside the 22.
An excellent work there from David Wilson. Stayed on his feet, stole that ball for the Wallabies. Andrew Heath, number 20, warms up. Andrew Blades, I should say.
Eels has it. Right on the quarter line. Allowing for injuries, there's about 11 minutes to go. It's there for Australia. They've worked it nicely. Going ahead by 7. Stephen Larkham.
With the attacking potential in this Australian backline, the crowd don't want to see him defending the scoreline with just over 10 minutes to go. Andrew Blades comes onto the field. And off comes number 3, the Ox, Andrew Heath.
Andrew Blades on for his 6th test. And Andrew Heath gets a rousing ovation. He's done the job for his side tonight. So to be at this time, what can he do? Small in from the right wing. They're in over the advantage line. They want quick ball. Osdurant into David Knox. Holbeck goes in. 35 metres out. South Africa looking for their 3rd try here. Kruger, Van Schalkwyk. Good hands there to Teichmann. 35 metres out. The Springbok forward slow to arrive. De Beer. Finnegan got him again. Did he turn him? He did. Brilliant defence by Owen Finnegan. He's done that several times tonight.
Well, he's a man for the moment. Is Owen Finnegan. They brought him in reluctantly after injury to Garrick Morgan. They said he was too slow to play in the flank, but he's showing when the tough stuff's on. He's right in the middle of it.
Yes, well, he was on the plane to go back to Sydney on Thursday night. He checked his bags in when it became known that Morgan was injured. And his father, Paddy, had purchased the tickets to come up and watch his son play and was disgusted when he got the news, but it's all turned out well.
No. Hold. Go.
17 metres from the halfway line. Here's Larkham stepping nicely. Gregan wants it here. It's come out the other way. Hunter Vesthuizen, Eels the tackler. Brett Robinson and Coker. Ball was out.
Good reactions there from Troy Coker. Got through very quickly to shut down that South African attack. John Eales getting a bit of a touch up at the back of the maul as well.
Hello.
Lovely eye, Matt Cobain. He's got the double whammy.
Nice headache too, I'd say. But he's a young man who put his body on the line tonight. And this, I hope, is not Richard Harry's bad thumb. He broke his thumb on the Wallaby Tour last year and had to come home.
And that's the hand that he grips with at loose head on the left-hand side. It's that hand that binds on the hooker.
Well, Richard Harry has produced a stormer here tonight after a below par performance by his standards last week.
That's right.
Garrick Morgan having some words to Andrew Heath.
Harry's off the field, so Heath has been substituted,
You got the communication, I haven't, have you?
and a blood bin, so Heath to come back. Might have been just querying that one, Chris.
Front driver. Yep, no problem.
This will be an interesting combination with Andrew Heath coming back onto the loose head side.
Good. Holding. No. Righto.
There's about 8 minutes remaining for South Africa to somehow extricate themselves. Montgomery, taken by Holbeck, who didn't stay on his feet. He tackled and then dived in again. Penalty South Africa. Joost van der Westhuizen. Small, slipped over on the quarter. Wallabies offside. Van der Westhuizen working here. Rousseau hasn't seen much ball. Heels the tackler. No knock on. Scrum half goes himself. 8 metres from the goal line. Australia leading by 32 to 15. They've defended stoically. Yanni de Beer. Van Schalkwyk taken by Gregan and Finnegan again. I think he's turned him. He's done it again. Owen Finnegan. He is, without doubt, one of the resourceful, clever players in Australian rugby. He's made his impact here tonight. He reads it so well.
Well, the Springboks in that sequence of attack, absolutely clueless.
And that's the surprising thing. They've lacked any combination or cohesion tonight. It just appears that they don't have the plan. And I thought the plan would be to exploit Australia's back row, but they've not even done that well.
So John Eales also looks to have an arm or hand injury here. He's up and okay. This match looks to be out of South Africa's reach now. They've squandered their chances of coming back. Good engagement by Australia. Here's David Knox. Oh, that kick not a great one halfway. James Small gives the Springboks a look in here. There's no one in front. Here's Larkham. He wants the bounce.
Option, no, option.
So players in front of the kicker there from South Africa. Option of a penalty or a scrum. And Australia takes the scrum up near halfway. Fundamental error from the box.
Yanni de Beers had plenty to ball to use in the second half, had 16 possessions, passed at 14, kicked it twice. David Knox, in comparison, only 9 possessions.
The wounded Wallaby has really lashed out with its tail tonight. Kruger the tackler. Gregan and Knox into a bit of space, a loose pass. Here's Larkham. Tune stood his ground. Intercept, Teichmann. And the mark to Joe Roth. Well, the Wallabies getting a little bit loose and sloppy, but still managing to scramble.
Seen that last pass right out. And Ben Tune just continues to brush him off. He's bulletproof. Gets the ball back inside. And the Springboks can't turn it back into goal.
Well, Greg Smith smiling. First time we've seen that in a couple of weeks, I'd say. And he's a very relieved man. He's been through a harrowing week, but his boys have really done it here tonight. They've done it out there on the field in superb style. Otto, De Beer, Van Schalkwyk. Again, good solid midfield defence from Australia. Van der Westhuizen, overlap, Andrews with him. Teichmann, Durant, Gregan. He's so strong that George Gregan, with a bit of support from Larkham, has taken the 120-kilogram ox over the sideline. Benchun told to cool it.
Now here's some work for Colin Hawke and his touch judges. Just listen to the mayhem.
And Noxie giving a bit of lip service there to what will be his future Natal skipper, Gary Teichmann.
Where's the mark, Petty?
Danny van Schalkbeek is down on the 10-metre line in centre field.
And across.
He looks to be in big trouble. Van Schalkbeek. Short line out for Australia Eels. Brilliant lead by him. Gregan now. And David Knox. Make sure of his touch. Quick line outs on. That's Bennett. Robinson the tackler. 3 Australians there. David Wilson. Another turnover. So the Springboks have lost their second match, and we believe it's an Australian record crowd for a match against South Africa. 36,000 here in Brisbane.
Yeah, just hold, let's get him on.
We had 41,000 to the All Blacks last week. So a big attendance, a great response from the Brisbane public.
You're right.
Well, Van Schalkbeek headed off. He's very good player for the South Africans. This guy, Henry Honeyball, is a great substitute.
Time on, yep.
Normally plays fly half.
Hold on. Are you on?
Sitting inside centre outside of Yanni de Beer.
Australia with their highest score ever against the Springboks. They had it wrapped up at half-time with a 26-10 lead. They've closed it down in the second term, and David Knox still not able to get that touch line. Peter Rousseau. Holbeck, the tackler. Henry Honeyball's on. This is James Small, and Honeyball on the loop. Fine player from the Natal Sharks. 8 from halfway. Some of those Springbok tight forwards, a little slow to get there. De Beer now to Teichmann. Big tackle by Andrew Blades. Wallaby defence has been too good tonight. Less than 2 minutes remaining.
It's been a brave performance by the Wallabies. Hurt last week by their lack of performance. Pressured this week in the press. Just able to put it together.
Teichmann now. Well, some big defence there from Gregan, but the referee says he was offside. Gregan's been everywhere tonight. Andrews trying so hard. Durant just swatting off players like they were flies. Teichmann. Springbok skippers probably been South Africa's best forward. De Beer now. Well, they didn't draw the man there. Montgomery was probably through himself. Narkadrotsky to Bennett. Small. Try. De Beer. A consolation for the Springboks. Yanni de Beer hurt as he went over the goal line, but it's come too late.
They just kept stretching the defence. It was nothing fancy. And finally it came for them. Yanni de Beer just in the right place. He hasn't had the happiest games, but this straightening and now the quick movement, they picked up and cleared it quickly. Narkadrotsky was the man. The cutout found James Small, and he really stretched both men who believed he was going to score.
Just seconds remaining.
James Small's made certainly an impact coming into the field here. Yanni de Beer ducks into the tackle, rolls his shoulder over. He's okay. Bit of skin off the eye there. Happy days.
Second straight loss for the Springboks in this Tri-Nation series. Australia, 1 out of 2. This will probably be the last play of the game, this conversion attempt.
Watch this tackle.
Spectator on the field near the goalposts. Oh! He ran into the goalpost, I think. And he's carrying a little Aussie flag.
There's a flying tackle from the security guard. Nailed him.
Time is up on the clock. South Africa beat the Lions 32-22 in the third test. The referee blows it up. The final score here at Suncorp. The Wallabies bounce back. So does Greg Smith. Australia scoring 4 super first half tries. 2 to Ben Tune, 1 to Larkham, 1 to Manu. South Africa hitting back with 2 tries in the second half after Durant got 1 in the first. But 26-10 at half-time, it was too much. And it's a moment to savour for that man, David Knox. He did all the damage in the first half. And the Springboks now venture to Eaton Park next Saturday to take on the All Blacks. And Noxie and De Beer, happy opposing number 10s.
Well, David Knox and Owen Finnegan, 2 of the Australian players here tonight we haven't seen during the Tri-Nations or the French tests, and what a big influence tonight they've had on this game. George Gregan, as per usual, produced another excellent performance. Great physique.
Well, he's opposite. The Vesthuizen said Gregan is the #1 halfback in the world, and George outplayed his opposite tonight, confirming that status. Let's go down to Chris Handy.
Well, John Eales, a great win to Australia. What was the key?
Well, it's great. I think we recycled possession so much more quickly than we did against the All Blacks. It was fantastic that we had that quick ball and we were able to use it with a lot of space there.
David Knox back in the team made a difference to the ball moving.
Knox was sensational, but also like we gave him a ball that was a lot better to use than we have been giving.
Congratulations. I'll let you enjoy the moment.
Thanks, Putter.
Gary Teichmann, disappointment, I suppose, after the team played so well against the All Blacks 2 weeks ago.
Very disappointed. I think, we've got to learn to put 2 good games together, and we're in the building phase, but I think we've got to look at ourselves and we'll work hard next week and go for the All Blacks.
Congratulations and all the best next week. I know it'll be hard against them.
Yeah, I know, for sure, but I think we played them well at Ellis Park, and we know we got in with a chance. We just got to work hard.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So we've heard from the 2 skippers. The final score here in front of 36,000 fans. The Wallabies bouncing back, downing South Africa by 32-20. We'll be back with more after the break. Yes, there they are, the 2 guys who were unwanted by the Australian selectors in the preceding test matches, Owen Finnegan and David Knox. Well and truly, 2 big heroes here tonight. But let's now meet the man of the match, the Port Australia man of the match. Chris Handy is with Ben Tune.
Well, to the sounds of Advanced Australia Fair, Ben Tune, a much happier Australian dressing room.
Absolutely. I mean, after the disappointments of last weekend, we had a lot to prove to ourselves, to the crowd, and to Greg, and it feels really good.
Well, your 2 tries in the first half gave you the man of the match, the forward man of the match trophy, and here David Morgan from forward to present it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate you on a tremendous match. It really was. We're obviously very proud of Australia winning and your contribution towards it.
Thanks very much, and obviously thank you to Ford. Fantastic.
Cheers, mate. We'll let you enjoy it.
I'm going to get there right now. Tough.
Yes, he was electric tonight, Simon, and great to see him getting so much possession in that first half. He really punished the Springboks.
He did. He's such a determined, elusive runner, and so many players out tonight did so well for Australia, especially Finnegan. Rucks and Mauls, they're pretty close, but the fly halves had plenty of ball to use, especially David Knox in the first half. Yanni De Beer just couldn't quite get it going in the second half. Australia got a bonus point out of this game, so that's a good result as well.
Yes, the bottom line there is Australia can still win this Tri-Nations, but they have to beat New Zealand now at Carisbrook and then the South Africans at Loftus Versfeld on August 23, and live coverage of all of those games. Just a reminder of what's coming up for the remainder of this weekend, but firstly, there he is, the man of the moment, David Knox. Back with more